Are you the kind of person who tends to focus on other people's needs at the expense of your own? Do you feel like your sense of identity or self-worth often depends on being needed or approved of? This is your video. In today's video, we will be talking about codependent dynamics, or you could say codependency personality. So we'll be trying to identify ourselves. Maybe you've noticed some patterns that are repetitive. This video will help you to try and identify, could you be in a codependent dynamic, or could you be having a codependency personality? So in this video, I'll be highlighting the definition of codependency personality, the core features. We'll also look at the possible causes, the effects that it can bring to you as a person and those around you, and finally, how to recover from this. Hi besties, my name is Pesh and you're welcome to my channel. Let's dive right into it. So we can define codependency personality as a behavior and emotional condition or pattern in which a person has excessive psychological or emotional reliance on another individual. Do you feel that it's excessive psychological or emotional reliance on another individual? Now, having a codependency personality is not a mental illness. I should make that clear from the word go. Actually, if you look at the DSM-5, DSM-5 is a diagnostic statistical manual, the 5th version. It is a manual that is used by psychiatrists to make diagnoses about mental related diagnoses. However, if you look at that manual, codependency personality is not a diagnosis on its own. It rather overlaps with things like emotional dependence, low self-esteem, or dependent personality disorder. So if a person has codependent personality, they tend to focus on other people's needs, ignoring their own. And also they feel like their self-worth is defined by, being needed by someone else or being validated by another person. So basically that is a glimpse of what codependency is. Now, what are some of the core features of codependency personality or codependent dynamics? There are about 7. I'll highlight about 7 quickly. Core features of codependent personality. Number one, it is people pleasing. As it sounds, you feel the constant need to please other people and avoid conflict. You feel like, I don't want to annoy a person. It's my responsibility to make sure everything is okay, to make sure there's no conflict, be it in a family or relationships. You feel like you have to please people constantly. You take that responsibility upon yourself, even when other people are not reciprocating the energy. 2, core feature number 2 is low self-esteem. As I had already mentioned, codependency overlaps with low self-esteem. So this person, they have low self-esteem. They feel like that self-worth comes from helping other people or being accepted by others. So 2 is low self-esteem. Core feature number 3 is poor boundaries. This person they just cannot say no. If you felt yourself in situations where you feel like I should say no, but you cannot say no. You have a problem of poor boundaries. You feel, it's your responsibility. I cannot say no. It's my responsibility to take care of other people's emotions and all that. So, my sister, my brother, that's poor boundaries, and it could be a pointer to codependent dynamics. Number 4, caretaking. Now, you feel like I must, you take it upon yourself. I think it's self-explanatory. Caretaking, you feel like I must take care of someone else. Oh my God, it's my responsibility. I must make sure everyone is fine. I need to fix this person. If you've been there, you can understand what I mean. Core feature number 5 is fear of abandonment or rejection. Now, if you've ever found yourself in situations where you are tolerating mistreatment, or you stay in unhealthy relationships just to avoid being alone, you have that fear of rejection or being abandoned. You feel like someone is not treating me right, but I don't want to be alone, I don't want to be rejected, so you stay there longer than you should. That is a pointer. Another one is suppressed emotions. You struggle to express yourself, and as I've said, in the previous, you feel like, no, I don't want to hurt this person, I don't want conflict, so you end up suppressing your own emotions. So you struggle to express your personal needs or your anger because you fear, what if I say this and then the person gets angry with me, or they end up leaving me, or am I asking for too much, things like that. And obviously, number 7 is dependence itself. It feels like you feel lost, you feel uncomfortable without the other person. You feel like I need to be, you feel like your entire existence is defined by the other person, so you have dependence. So those are some of the core features of codependent dynamics. Well, you could be wondering, what could be some of the possible causes? I got you. Well, the original code, no one knows that someone's codependence is caused by this, but we have possible causes. One of them is growing up in a dysfunctional family. If you grow up in a family where there is neglect, addiction, emotional instability, for example, for neglect, because maybe people were neglected in your family, you took it upon yourself that I need to take care of others. Remember, caretaking was one of the core features. So it shapes you. Our present, the way we act today, the way we talk, the way we feel, the way we handle things is mostly dictated by our past experiences. So another thing could be childhood roles. Maybe you became a caretaker early on, or you became a peacemaker. Probably in your family, people are always fighting. For example, people are always fighting, and you felt you were the one always reconciling people. It follows you even in your today, your current life. Or another cause could be just a learned belief. You learned it that love must be earned through sacrifice. It's love. I need to work so hard. I need to sacrifice my own happiness. It's something you learned, you picked on somewhere, somehow along your life. And lastly, it could be past trauma. You had attachment issues, or you had insecurities. So you constantly feel the need to be validated by other people and all that. So those were some of the possible causes, and you can let me know some of your experiences in the comment section if you have any. So why are we even talking about codependence personality? How does it affect you? One is it puts you under chronic stress and anxiety and depression, because just imagine your life. You're constantly, if the other person is not okay, you can't be okay. Your life revolves around another person, so it puts you under stress and anxiety, and then it causes burnout and resentment. This is common in relationships. Because you're doing too much, and this person probably is not reciprocating the same energy. You end up resenting them. You get the resentment, you're burnt out, and obviously another effect is you'll have difficulty maintaining relationships. Okay, I mean maintaining healthy, balanced relationships. It will be difficult for you to maintain those. So, and then at the end of the day, you lose yourself, you lose your identity, you lose your personal goals, because everything you do revolves around the other person. Lastly, how can we recover from this? After identifying yourself, how can you recover from this? The first step to recovery is awareness. That's why I first gave us the core features. If you discover yourself like, this is how I am, that is the first step. The second step is called CBT, that is cognitive behavior therapy. I'm just going to outline the recovery steps in this video. I'll make a longer video talking about the recovery from codependence, so I don't want to make this video so long. Let me put the recovery in our next video, but we have awareness as our first step. We have cognitive behavior therapy. I'm going to talk more about it. It's a kind of therapy that challenges negative thoughts, etc. Then having support groups, building independence, and all that. I will make a longer video concerning the recovery. Otherwise, it is important that we identify ourselves. Now, after knowing that we have a codependent personality and all these effects that it can bring to us, we will be able to recover from this journey. Thank you for tagging along and watching until the end. If you think this video was helpful to you, leave me a like, a comment, or subscribe to my channel, and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't know what time you're watching. Bye.